Dawn, I visited you, and one of the things that struck me was how young the team is, and the fact that your mom, hello, if you're here and you are around 1975, you have no will. Well, Dawn's mom was born in 1975, and she's not here to witness this event, but Dawn has carried on that business. Tell us what that journey has been like as somebody who had your mom pass on and leaving you behind with siblings who are in school.
So firstly, I'm happy to share today because the Terra Estate Planning Symposium gives us a chance to tell our story. And a disclaimer, we are not really here to share what you must do. We'll simply share what we have gone through and then what has worked and what didn't really work. So John reminds all of us that born of 1975, our mother passed on at the age of 45, okay? So if you feel young enough or too young to have a will that is for older people, that's what happened to us. But our mom passing on during COVID was genuinely a shock that we all did not expect. And when I look back, I am grateful, and why I said I'm happy that my sisters are here, and it was intentional that they are here, and my wife and my father-in-law also walked in just a while ago. So I think what I count very pertinent for me is the fact that we genuinely did not exactly have a concrete plan on how to roll this out. As a firstborn, it was almost just automatic that I would take up the business because my sisters were still in school and my other two siblings were all in school. So in other words, the children of the late Hajat Aisha Nakasuja were all in school apart from myself. So the responsibility was upon me because our dad is not in the business. And there I was. But I think what I am grateful for in the journey was that, because when I look back, this month actually, on the 2nd of July, we marked 5 years since she passed on. And looking back, we were only reminded of the fact that as sudden and unknown or unplanned this was, I remember sharing with you, Joanne, that one thing I'm really grateful for in this period, even just when we've done so many things after, is the mere existence of that business, the fact that we still stand. And we're exhibiting at the back there. One of our team members, Mariam, is around, and Arafat. So, but truth be told, I think our story, if there's anything you can pick from it, is the fact that anything is possible in terms of either you being alive or you getting incapacitated. So we're all candidates for being incapacitated, or we're all candidates for passing on anytime. So they're better if you plan for it. And the last thing I'll remark in line with this is that if you think about your passing, while your passing could be a factor that could bring your family together to now kind of hold each other together and find a way forward, it could actually be a point of division. And I can tell you the person who is in control of either of those factors, it's yourself. You can choose if your passing will actually be a moment to bring your family together, to move forward, or it will be the worst thing that will ever happen, in that even your own children that you fathered with your wife will split as a side effect or as an aftermath of your own passing. But you choose.
What is it within the business that you think your mom did well that supported you, even young as you were, to be able to just carry on?
Our mom's decision to engage us a bit early, and particularly myself, because my siblings were honestly still in school. But her decision to engage me early was one of the best things that she did. And she shared a lot with me in terms of how the business works, in terms of how to talk to people, in terms of how to do business, because I was in business school, but I often and I continuously say that, everything I learned in business school, nothing compares to what I learned from my mom, because it was very practical, it was very handy, even when I was, studying these things as theory in business school. But I'm also grateful to our team, because what we have done in the last 5 years has not just been to preserve the business, but it has been to professionalize the business. And I think that's one factor that has allowed us to be able to move and scale. We brought on new people on board, teams that could be able to support and advise us. And when I look back, I am thankful for her. Amongst all the many things she did was to start that business. Because when our keynote address was being given today, it reminded me of the fact that what we live in terms of wealth, the property, it's much, much better if what you leave behind is actually a productive asset. I have no problem against owning so many acres of land. One of my good friends, Ashley here, one of Boss Land Estates. But truth be told, the idea of productive assets, because think about it, my siblings were in school. They had to continue, join university and graduate. And I'm thankful that they have graduated thanks to Aloysia Organic. But guess what? If we never had productive assets, the first thing we're going to do is to sell a property so they can be able to go to school. But thanks to the business, because of its nature to really multiply what has been placed into it, we are grateful that it has allowed us to be able to school our siblings and others also still in school, and it's doing many, many other things and keeping us alive. So I still really re-echo and remind myself that our mother still takes care of us in hindsight.